All right. I am so excited to be here Saturday morning with my friend Dan. Dan, it's so nice to see you. What's
Nice to
up?
see you too, Christina. Oh, just enjoying Saturday?
Oh, God, I love it. We just got off our team call and we're on to this. And it sounds like you've got a pretty fun Saturday plan. So I won't take up too much of your time. But I was really excited to have you here because I wanted you to share a little bit of your story. Because I think it's really powerful when people think I don't really need that, or I'm not really that interested in another stream of income or another business. Where would I find the time to do that? Why would I do that when I already have a career? All these questions you kind of ask yourself before you start something. But Dan, you've been in the industry for a few years, and with us for the last 10 months, I had the pleasure of working with you and Julie. So I would love to just get you to tell your story a little bit, like talk about who you are, your background, and we'll just have a little conversation and let people, kind of pull the curtains up so they can see behind the scenes of why this is such a valuable thing to have in your life.
Okay. Well, I'm a busy father of two little ones, partner to Julie. Some of you may know her that are watching right now. I work a full-time job, 40 plus hours a week. I'm currently working behind a desk right now, where I would love to be outside in the sun. I have been in the military, and I'm in policing right now. I've done that for 12 plus years.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think so. And in 2015, I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress and depression due to occupational stress injuries.
Of course.
And the following year, I lost my marriage and my home and everything that I built up. And my career did not look like, I didn't have the stable career that I thought I was going to have. I didn't have, it didn't look like I was going to be able to carry on with what I love doing, which was being out there, responding to emergencies, helping people.
Of course.
It's going to be very different than what I signed up for.
Right. And I understand.
And I took a journey of trying to build my life back together. And I was fortunate enough to find some people that were very supportive, Julie included. She's a holistic nutritionist, so she helped me with gaining back some knowledge and some ways of supporting my body. And I put a lot of effort into doing the work and building up my mind and my mindset, and going to therapy and really bringing myself to a really good place. And the products that I was using at the time were really great. And I saw that there was an opportunity to share them and make some money. And so I did that. And I did that for almost 2 years. And I wasn't getting very far with the business aspect of it. And about that time, I started looking at what you were doing, and I saw that the products were fantastic as well. And I thought I needed to make a change. Why? Well, because the income that I was getting was not what I wanted it to be through that business, but I knew I wanted to have a side income. Why? Because I was talking to other professionals and listening to other professionals in emergency services that were going through very similar situations where they didn't know if they were going to be able to continue their career because of their injury. And they were not in a financial situation to just give it up, or they didn't know what else to do.
Right.
Because they poured their heart and their soul into serving others through this way of doing things for so long. And it becomes part of who you are, serving people, right? And I saw that there was an opportunity for me to have an option, because I love what I do, whether it's behind a desk or it's responding to an emergency in a vehicle or what have you, right?
That was the part of your job that you loved that you no longer get to do, which is much like me with a hairstylist. Like, I can't do that with my shoulder anymore. So I get
Exactly.
it.
And
I
you
get
have a similar story where you loved it and something happened that made you have to pivot. And I looked at what my options were for pivoting, right? And what's powerful about, since we've started to work together, and you've been mentoring me and just being a great friend, is my options have opened. I can work this job and serve people as long as it serves me too. And then I can plan my exit should I wish to, and not have to struggle like so many others that are saying, I just got to put until I got 25 years, or I just got to put until I got 30 years, and then I can retire, and then I can
And they're
relax.
suffering during that process, right?
Yes, and sometimes getting
That
worse,
time.
better, worse. Yeah, re-affected, re-injured. And I really feel for them. And I want to make sure that I can be the best that I can be as a father and as a partner and as a member of my community. And, I'm going to be selfish and say for me, right? Because
It
I
is
got a life to
about you,
live.
though. It is about you. And you know what's really interesting, Dan, that you say that is because, especially because of your job and what you did for others, you were serving others in your job. Something like PTSD, by the way, I didn't understand that. I knew that people in the military or Navy or Army might have PTSD. I knew first responders would have PTSD. I didn't understand PTSD until, as a mom, experienced something traumatic and I had it. And it happened to me. And it's not something I talk about very often, but I literally could not, I'm going to get teary, but I literally could not get out of bed. I would cry all day and I could not get out of bed and I didn't know what was wrong with me. I had no idea what was wrong with me. And until you actually experience that, you're like, okay, they have PTSD. They're living with a bad memory of something that happened. That's not what this is, by the way. It's something that affects you so deeply that it is ingrained in you and you react in different ways in different situations than you would normally react. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I want to stop you right there and just say that there's nothing wrong with you, and there was nothing wrong with you, because you reacted in a very normal way to the situations that you had encountered and had to deal with. So I want that
Yeah.
to be clear.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you saying that. I also want to talk about a little bit about, when something like that happens, how important the little things are. Like, it's not, okay, I'm in a routine, I go to work, I do this, I do that. Like, all of a sudden things shift in your life and become a lot more important, like family, spending time doing the things that you want, because you realize your life could be gone at any time, right? And so you start to shift your behavior. And like I said, freedom is truly having options. That's what freedom is knowing that at any time you have options and you're not stuck. And the only person that can create that freedom is you. So is it hard work to do it around your family and your full-time job and all those things? Absolutely. But the experience that you had probably made you realize a lot more about how much you wanted to be at home with your kids, right?
Very
Like,
much so. Yeah. And during that time that I talked about, when my career was uncertain, my marriage had fallen apart, I lost my home, I could only see my children half the time. I lost my father too, and my dog died. Like, I
oh
got a
my
countryside,
God.
right? Yeah. But, and I also want to touch on the freedom aspect of it.
Totally.
I listened to Jocko Willink
I
because
love
he's
him.
like, yeah. And he says discipline is freedom.
Yes.
And it's so true, because you're saying, like, people don't understand how you can balance a job and a family and do a business on the side if you wish. If you're disciplined about it, and that a lot of people poo-poo that word, right? But it's really self-discipline, and it should have a different word because people just don't like
I love
that.
it. I think it's important. I like
Okay,
that.
good. It's about setting up a schedule and, like, prioritizing and setting goals, like you were saying on the call this morning,
Yeah.
and that looking at that for the business expanded to every area of my life. And so I was prioritizing my health and what I do at work, and, on and on and on. And those are skills that I had learned through, things that we do through the business that I was able to apply to my life in general. And so holistically, things just keep getting better and better and better.
I love it. And that's what I found too, like being involved in this industry is like a paid personal development class. Like inevitably you have to grow to get over to the next level, right? You have to grow your business. And that's something that I find really, really, really powerful. The other thing that I didn't mention is when I had that experience where I experienced PTSD, I was already in this industry. And that month that I couldn't get out of bed, I still got paid. I couldn't function in my life. I went to therapy. I did all of those things. I did what I needed to do. But in that moment in time, I didn't lose an income. I still got paid because of residual income. And that when I realized that when my grandfather passed away and I could go take a couple of weeks off and go hang out with my family, those are the things that are important to me. Dan, in typically, Ryan and I obviously have blown gender roles totally out of the water, but like typically in a partnership, especially when you have kids, the mom's at home taking care of the kids and the dad's out working. Now, when that happens, you might think, okay, that's normal, but you don't think that dad is at work wishing that he was at home with his kids. Like, does that go through your mind when you're like, okay, I need to do this. I need to do this for my kids. I've got to be responsible, all these things. But like, wouldn't you rather be at the river with your kids? Wouldn't you rather,
100%,
right? Like
100%. I'm a fan of history, and I think these gender roles that we have in society are somewhat a product of the Industrial Revolution.
Yes.
So, it's natural for men to be around their kids for a significant amount of time and raising them and being a part of their daily life.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it's strange at all for a man to want to be with his children so much more than what society says he should be,
Absolutely. I mean,
and that's what I want for my children.
Absolutely. Yeah. They deserve to have a dad. I was raised, I think this is why I was so specific about the person that I married, because I knew Ryan would be an incredible father. I asked him on our third date, by the way. I was like, so this is going to be a bomb, but if you don't want to have kids and don't want to get married, this has to be our last date. I literally put it all on the line because I known him long and I didn't want to waste his time. I didn't want to waste my time, but I knew he'd be an excellent father. And I was raised where my mom was at home, my dad was at work. I didn't have a relationship with my dad until I was 25 and as an adult because he was always the breadwinner. He was always out. He wasn't there. And I didn't want that for my daughter because it comes with a whole slew of other things in your life that you have to overcome, right? Not having that strong male role model in your life that is consciously building their confidence, right? And their value system and showing them that they're worthy. Yes, stability, right? Like that is so important. And Dan, that's one of the things that I see you take pride in, which I think, I really admire you as a dad that you're doing that. So I think, sharing this with other dads, sharing this with other people that have full-time careers, maybe they're happy, maybe they're not. I thought it was really great today that Kim said, I love my job. My husband has a business. We didn't do this for the money. But what happened was I fell so in love with the products. By the way, Dan, your results are phenomenal. Like you look incredible. Even, by the way, I don't know if this is weird, but even Ryan was like, wow, Dan looks great. I think it like struck a chord with him.
Thanks,
and he's
buddy.
like, I gotta start being more consistent with my products because he looks really good. So, congratulations on your personal results, because so often I hear, isn't it a whole bunch of women? Like, isn't it a whole bunch of women in your business? And I'm like, no, just because you see me with a bunch of women doesn't mean it's just women in the business. Men excel at this business. Our top income earners are men, right? So it's so cool to see you sharing the products. I mean, they're all performance-based products. So what's your favorite?
My favorite, well, my everyday favorite is the trim. I take that every morning and I love it. This comes in so many different flavors. So you can switch it up. And the BioCell Life, because I'm an active guy. I do a lot of fitness and whatnot. I started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and that I'm 38 years old, and so it can take a toll on your joints. I know I'm new at it, but I definitely it doesn't take too long to understand how that could affect your body. And my recovery has been great. So I really like those two the most. I had really good success. I did 3 months. I was disciplined on the lean body system. And that's how I saw like a dramatic change in those 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Incredible.
all
And
my
so
favorites.
for those of you that are listening and don't know what the BioCell is, it's our liquid collagen. And if you don't know the difference between powder collagen and liquid, we're the only ones out there with liquid, so maybe you haven't heard about it yet. But powder collagen, and Julie might correct me on this, but 35% absorption rate, whereas collagen has a 90 plus when it's liquid, when you absorb it in a liquid form. So our BioCell is very bioavailable, and it's kind of like our hero product. It works for everything: your hair, your skin, your nails. Like, I feel like I'm reverse aging, which is brilliant for women, by the way. Guys get to age with
Men
grace
too.
and like be silver foxes, and women are like, can I just look like I'm 20 again? That'd be awesome. So,
You look
Dan,
great.
I know that you've got a really busy day. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your story and talking about having options and how important that is, because you never know when something's going to happen in your life. You never know when you're going to need this. Unfortunately, most people find this business when they're desperate. You don't have any other options. But when you find it and you're in a place where you're building something intentionally, when the challenges and the obstacles that you have are made because you created them, not ones that the world threw at you, that is a very powerful place to be. So
Agreed. Yeah, and I just want to say, I just want to reiterate, I love my job, and I may do 25 years, I may do 30, right? But if I want to do something different, I can.
Absolutely. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you and Julie. You guys are amazing. I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky to be able to work with your leadership on our team. So thank you so much for being here, Dan. Have an awesome day. Okay.
Okay, you too. Thank you.
Bye, my friend.
Bye, everyone.